Basilosaurus. The name means king lizard. It wasn't a lizard, it was a whale. And somehow that makes it worse. 18 meters, longer than a bowling lane, heavier than 2 African elephants stacked, serpentine muscle, teeth like a predator's fever dream, and a body built less like a whale and more like something that wanted you to think it wasn't coming. It had tiny hind legs, vestigial, useless for swimming, perfect for unsettling paleontologists. But those teeth, serrated, interlocking, built for crushing, tell the real story. Basilosaurus didn't filter plankton. It hunted dolphins, sharks, and other whales. Fossil evidence from Wadi al-Hitan shows bite-marked juvenile whale skulls with Basilosaurus teeth patterns. It wasn't the biggest predator in the Eocene ocean. It was just the one willing to eat everything else. When it disappeared, the ocean didn't mourn. It exhaled. But if the ocean had monsters, the land had architects of terror. And one of them rewrote the rules of size entirely. Titanoboa. 60 million years ago, the jungles of what is now Colombia contained a snake so large that scientists who found the fossil in 2009 initially thought it was a crocodile. It wasn't. 13 meters, over 1,000 kilograms, a body wider than a grown man's torso. Titanoboa cerrahonensis holds the verified record for the largest snake ever to exist on Earth. It wasn't venomous. It didn't need to be. At that mass, it simply squeezed. Constriction pressure estimated at over 400 pounds per square inch, enough to crack ribs, collapse lungs, and end arguments permanently. It lived in temperatures around 30 to 34 degrees Celsius, according to research published in Nature, because a cold-blooded animal that size needs extreme heat just to function. Modern Earth isn't warm enough to support it, which is one of the few times climate change has done us a favor. The ground had its nightmare. The sky had something worse, Argentavis. 6 million years ago, something with a wingspan of 7 meters soared over South America. Not glided, soared. Argentavis magnificens is the largest flying bird ever confirmed by fossil record. Wingspan wider than a small aircraft, weighing up to 72 kilograms. For context, the largest flying bird alive today, the wandering albatross, maxes out at 3.5 meters. Argentavis likely couldn't flap efficiently at that size. It used thermals, riding rising columns of warm air the way a glider does, except this glider had a hooked beak, talons, and the patience of something that knew nothing on the ground could outrun it. It probably swallowed prey whole or in massive chunks. Its closest living relative is the Andean condor. The family resemblance is there. The scale is not. Something that owned the sky, that completely had no reason to evolve humility. And while it ruled the air, something in the water was measuring coastlines. Deinosuchus. Imagine a crocodile. Now double it. Now give it 10,000 pounds of bite force and 75 million years of patience. Deinosuchus, meaning terrible crocodile, reached up to 12 meters and weighed an estimated 8,000 kilograms. Fossils recovered across North America show bite marks on dinosaur bones. Not fish. Not turtles exclusively. Dinosaur bones, including large hadrosaurs. Research published in the Journal of Vertebrate Paleontology confirmed that Deinosuchus was not an opportunistic scavenger. It ambushed. It dragged animals from riverbanks the way modern crocs do, except the animals it was dragging were the size of buses. Its teeth were described as large, robust, and banana-shaped, which is the most alarming use of a fruit comparison in scientific literature. It went extinct at the end of the Cretaceous. The asteroid that killed the dinosaurs also eliminated this, which means the asteroid was doing multiple jobs simultaneously. Arthropleura. Before reptiles dominated, before mammals existed, before anything with a backbone got comfortable on land, the arthropods had already claimed it. Arthropleura was a millipede, 2.5 meters long, half a meter wide, the largest known land invertebrate in Earth's history. It lived during the Carboniferous period, approximately 300 million years ago, when oxygen levels in the atmosphere reached roughly 35%, compared to today's 21%. Higher oxygen allowed insects and arthropods to grow to sizes that defy modern logic. Arthropleura likely fed on plants and detritus, not flesh. But that's almost beside the point. A 2.5-meter millipede moving through a forest isn't terrifying because of its diet. It's terrifying because of the sound, the weight, the fact that it left trackways in ancient rock that are 30 centimeters wide. fossilized evidence of something vast moving through a world that had not yet decided what living on land was supposed to look like. Sarcosuchus. 112 million years ago, in what is now the Sahara Desert, which was then a floodplain, something 9 to 9.5 meters long patrolled the rivers. Sarcosuchus imperator, emperor of flesh. Its skull alone was nearly 2 meters long. Paul Sereno's excavations in Niger in the early 2000s recovered enough fossil material to estimate a body mass of around 8,000 kilograms, comparable to Deinosuchus, but separated by tens of millions of years, which means evolution arrived at the same terrifying answer twice. Its eyes sat at the top of its skull for surface ambush. Its bony scutes covered its back like industrial plating, and a distinctive bulla, a rounded growth at the tip of the snout, may have enhanced its sense of smell or sound. It didn't outrun prey. It didn't need to. It waited where everything eventually had to drink. Spinosaurus. The largest carnivorous dinosaur ever discovered. Not the most famous, the largest. Spinosaurus aegyptiacus reached up to 14 to 15 meters, outmeasuring Tyrannosaurus rex by 2 to 3 meters. Its neural spines, the iconic sail or hump along its back, reached heights of up to 1.65 meters. For decades, Spinosaurus was misunderstood. New fossils recovered in Morocco between 2014 and 2020, analyzed by Nizar Ibrahim's team, revealed dense bones unlike any other large theropod, the same bone density seen in modern diving birds and aquatic mammals. Short hind limbs, a paddle-like tail confirmed by a 2020 Nature paper. Spinosaurus was not a land apex predator strutting beside rivers. It was in the river, actively swimming, hunting fish, including the 7-meter shark Onchopristis, whose serrated rostral teeth have been found near Spinosaurus fossils. A 15-meter carnivorous dinosaur hunting in water means no environment was safe. Land, river, or the space between. It owned the gradient. Purussaurus, confirmed crocodilian that ever existed. And it lived where a rainforest stands today. 12.5 meters. Estimated weight between 8 and 15 tons depending on the specimen. This Miocene predator patrolled the mega wetlands of ancient South America 8 million years ago, when the Amazon basin was an enormous inland sea rather than a river system. Bite force estimates reach approximately 69,000 newtons, among the highest calculated for any vertebrate. For context, a saltwater crocodile today generates around 16,000. Fossil evidence places giant ground sloths, ancestral horses, and early tapir relatives on its menu. Anything approaching the water, anything at all. When the inland sea gradually receded and the ecosystem transformed into something unrecognizable, Purussaurus disappeared with the world it had been built for. That's the quieter horror in all of these. None of them lost. Basilosaurus, Titanoboa, Argentavis, Deinosuchus, Arthropleura, Sarcosuchus, Spinosaurus, Purussaurus, none of them were outcompeted by something smarter or faster or meaner.